and you got to try to figure out what's the best way to do the project. That's what the reasoning faculty is. You're reasoning. So the more you're able to reason, the more with great minds, the more you're able to get great ideas, right? So this is something that is part of our internal faculties, right? Moving forward, another one will be our imagination. Imagination is one of God's greatest gift to mankind, right? Because without the use of the imagination, nothing happens. Everything that's created in this universe was first created through the use of our imagination, right? This paper I'm holding, somebody imagined it in their mind, and then they made a blueprint of it, and then they made it a physical product of it. The clothes that we're wearing, somebody imagined it first, and then they made a blueprint, and then they made it out. So the use of our imagination is one of the greatest tools that we have for our advantage, right? So when you are about to set a goal for yourself, let your imagination faculty run wild. Let it go as big as it could go. Let it dream as big as it could go, right? Because they said if you could dream it, then you could have it. If you could see it in your mind's eye, meaning imagining it, then you could have it, right? The use of imagination, one of the most powerful things we have, right? Before anything is created, you have to imagine it first. So in saying that, how big is your imagination? How far could you see? These are all mental faculties that we have to practice on a daily basis to become better at them, right? Just like our physical senses. Did you always have proper use of your legs from the beginning? You know, did we always have proper use of our hearing, right? How many times did our parents have to call our names before we understood that our name was our name, right? So these are things that I'm introducing you guys to, and then hopefully you guys are gonna be able to continue it. Because once you know it, then all you have to do is practice it. So the use of our imagination is big. How big can you dream? You always hear successful people say, if you could dream it, you could have it. If you could see it, you could have it. Dream big, right? They always tell you, dream big. This is what they're talking about. Use your imagination to dream. Because everything that's created right now was once a big idea. You know what I mean? Like an airplane that flies in the sky. That was once a big idea. Putting a machine in the sky, they told those guys, if God wanted us to fly, he would have given us wings. You can't invent a machine that flies. A machine don't fly. You know what I mean? This is what people were saying. But yet now everybody flies up and down to go anywhere, wherever they want to go through the use of an airplane, right? But at once, it was a huge idea that seems so impossible. So if you're dreaming, if you're using your imagination, use it big to get big results. Cool? The rest of the faculties is the use of our perception, right? How you see things. Do you know that 10 people could be in the room and witness, say, a fight? And 10 people will have different versions of what happened in the fight, right? Because everybody sees things from their perspective, from their eye view, right? So the use of your perspective, right? Perspective is a big thing. It's something that scientists use a lot, right? Because if you're trying to invent something and you do it one way, the scientist knows that they have to use another perspective. They have to look at it from another angle to be able to come up with a solution towards whatever it is they're trying to create. You get what I'm saying? So the use of your perspective is huge. Learning that things are not only from your perspective, there's other perspectives. Does that make sense? So things are not only from your perspective. So if you're ever in an argument, right, if I was to draw a 6 in between you guys and myself, I draw a 6. The number 6. To you guys, this 6 is going to look like a 9. But to me, it's a 6. You get what I'm saying? It's who's right, who's wrong, right? It's just different perspectives. So understanding that whenever there's a situation or argument, there's always different perspectives. So learn to see things not just from your perspective, but other perspectives. Make sense? Make sense? Cool. Pulse check. So another reasoning factor is our memory skills. Now, there's a lot of people that say, I have a bad memory. Where do we get that from? We get that from hearing it from other people. where the truth is that nobody has a bad memory. We all have a perfect memory. As human beings, we all have a perfect memory. Everything we experience, we see, and we do is locked in our mind forever. What we have is a problem to recall the memory that we're trying to remember. So we have to work on our recalling skills, how to bring up the memory that we have. Do you know I have a memory of myself when I was like 1.5 years old? I know. I don't know how. Well, I know how because memory is associated with ridiculous association. So if something was traumatizing or something was very good or something was very bad, you have more chance of remembering it. Why do I have a memory of myself when I was like 1.5 years old? Because I remember when I was getting baptized or christening or something back home, they had me in the sea, with the pastor, my mom, and I remember myself hyperventilating, like cold, and I'm in the water, and that's why I could remember it because I remember I was shaking, I was freezing, I was shaking, I was a baby, so I could remember because that memory is tied to me shaking, and that's something that I can remember. So when you're trying to have a good memory, there's different books and techniques on how memory works. Some people learn how to like recite the alphabets backwards, right? Some people try spelling their name backwards. All these things are just building brain cells so you'll be able to remember, right? So try these things when you guys get home. Right? If we had more time, we would have done these exercises, but I'm just gonna go through the stuff and then when you guys go home, you could practice it. But it's pretty cool. Try it. Spelling your name backwards and memorizing it, right? You're training your mind. You know when I was younger, everybody remembered everybody's phone number. We all remembered. You remember your home phone number, your mom's phone number, your mom's work phone number. We all remember phone numbers. Like you had to. There was no other way. You just memorized it. If you had 10 friends, you have to remember all 10 friends' phone numbers. And it was easy because that's what we did. But now technology speeded up so fast that nobody even remembers phone numbers. Like if you lose your phone, damn, you're out of luck. Some people can't even call nobody. You know what I mean? That's why as young folks, parents drill it in you guys' minds. What's my phone number? What's my phone number? They want to make sure you guys know it because in case something happens, you need to remember this. Don't rely on like writing it down on a piece of paper or having it in your phone. You need to remember certain things, right? So because we stop remembering phone numbers, we're sort of losing our ability to like remember stuff, right? But anyway, this is another story. The last one will be your willpower. Remember I talked about the physical senses? This is the inside senses, the internal senses. So you know how they have the touch, see, smell, taste, and hear? This is the internal ones that control the external ones. So your willpower is one of your inner senses that we need to work on so we can have better results. How do you work on increasing your will? Right? There's different techniques. Some people put a dot on the wall and they train themselves to just focus on the dot. Like you sit in a chair, put a dot on the wall, and just focus on the dot for like 20 seconds at a time. Right? What that does is it's helping you concentrate on one particular area. And if you're able to concentrate on one particular area in your life, then you're going to be able to do it in other areas of your life. You know what I'm saying? So these are things that we all have to work on. Some people have more strengths in one area than others, but I'm breaking them all down so you guys could know what they are and then later on increase it, right? So what's one good way to increase your willpower?
Focus.
You could put a dot on the wall and just focus on it, right? It might seem silly. You ever see those Buddhist monks, those kung fu masters, always meditating stuff? This is what they're doing. They're channeling their energy and they're learning to focus. Because if you could focus on one area of your life, you could do it for other areas of your life. Make sense? How's it going so far? Cool. It's called a pulse check. I'm making sure you guys are good. I don't want to give you guys too much information all at once. So we're going to break down our perception. When you guys look at this picture, what do you guys see? Yes, sir.
Man playing Bampoe, I think.
Cool. No picture. Are you also aware that there's another picture within the picture? What else? Could you see the woman? Maria, could you see the woman?
See the mouth, eyes, and ear, nose.
Yeah. Could you see? Isn't it cool how you could look at something and see one thing and other people could see another thing? Do you see it yet? Do you see the man playing the instrument? Brandon, you see both? Which one don't you see? It's okay if you don't see it.
Lady.
You don't see the lady? Hold it. Look at my picture. Maybe it'll help you. You see like a whole face?
Oh yeah.
Isn't that cool?
Oh.
How you can see a picture within a picture. Right? This is called perception. This is what perception is all about. Right? How you see things. Right? And you know there could be wars on this. Somebody will see a person playing an instrument, the next person will see the lady and be like, no, it's a person playing an instrument. No, it's a lady. And they could be fighting and they're both right. Right? So understanding that there's many perspectives in life. So just because you see things one way doesn't mean the other way doesn't exist as well. Right? These are the tools and the skills that will help you guys take off. Right? Because if you don't know this stuff, then you're at a disadvantage. These are the things that will make you smarter and wiser because it's tied into your attitude, which is based on how you think, right? Which leads to how you feel, which leads to the actions and results you're gonna have. Make sense? Let's try the next picture. I like this one. This one says, everything we hear is an opinion, not a fact. Everything we see is a perspective, not a truth. Everything we hear is an opinion, not a fact. It's an opinion, right? Everything we see is a perspective, not a truth. So here's the thing. You guys see? One guy is saying it's a 4. One guy is saying it's a 3. Which one is it? Could you see why they could be fighting each other and screaming and going crazy? Look at their mouth. Don't they look very convinced that it's the number that they see? Like, you couldn't tell this guy is not a 3, and you can't tell this guy is not a 4. But the cool thing is, if they were to switch sides, they will be able to understand each other more. Right? So remember this, in a situation, there's always different perspectives. Right? It could be a 4, it could be a 3. It's just understanding different perspectives. Right? So learning not to react so fast to somebody's judgment, taking time out to think about it and respond, is always the better way, the winner's way. Make sense? Oh, I like this one. What do you see? What's the first thing you see?
First see evil, then you see good.
Does everybody see it? Do you see it? The 2 words? You see it? There's good. You can see where the good is. And then you can see where the evil is. The evil's in the white.
Oh, yeah.
Isn't that cool? 2 words in one, right? Different perspectives. It just matters of which way you're looking at it from. Cool. And let's see the last one. This one's cool. I got it from my teacher and our workshop called a paradigm shift. And it breaks down everything. This is one of the most powerful things I've learned. Psychiatrists don't even have access to this type of stuff. You know what I mean? This is how deep it is. Once you know something like this, you could be your own psychiatrist. It's deep. So it starts off from, this is the individual, right? Now, there's the yin and the yang. You guys know the yin and the yang, the positive, negative, good, bad. You know, it's just something that's stating that there's 2 different sides. There's the plus side and there's the negative side, right? So it starts off in an ignorant state. Everybody starts off ignorant, right? Ignorant is not like a bad thing. It's just you have a lack of knowledge towards whatever it is you're trying to do, right? So if you don't know how to use a computer, you're ignorant to the computer, right? I often hear people say, you're so ignorant, and then they think it's like a bad word, but it's not. It's just saying you don't have information about this subject, you know? So everybody starts off in an ignorant state, right? Say you're a baby. You have to learn everything from scratch. So you start off in an ignorant state. Now here's the situation. Say if you're trying to invent a plane. Say the plane wasn't invented yet, and you're trying to invent a plane. I'll use a better example. Say you're a C student and you want to get to an A student, right? You want to get to an A student. Did you say that's you? you're, you're a C student and you want to get to an A. So immediately, because you haven't done it before, you could easily start to worry and doubt. What are you worrying and doubting? You're worried and doubting that it's not going to happen. You don't know how to do it. And it's a scary feeling because A's means you got to concentrate and focus on your work and make sure everything is on point, right? So you start worrying and doubting, right? Is worrying and doubting ever a good thing to do? Why?
You give yourself anxiety, lots of stress, lots of pain, a lot of bad emotions,
Yeah.
and then you end up failing anyway.
Yeah. So you should just filled with all that other stuff, right? Get rid of all that other stuff. That's just draining you down. So here's the thing. A person starts to worry and doubt. And because they start to worry and doubt, they start to fear. Right? They have worrying and doubting. They're worrying and doubting about not having access to the information to pass and stuff. So they start to fear. Now what fear does is it creates a lot of anxieties. Right? You start getting upset and everything, you know? Like today, before you guys got here, I could have chose to worry and doubt about this whole thing, you know, but I just kept, because I have training and I'm always learning to become better, right? I stayed in a good place because at the end of the day, I know this stuff and I'm learning this stuff. So I know I'm good. I'm the one that's taking time out of my day to share this stuff with people. So why am I worried and stressed out about? I know this stuff and I use this stuff. You know, that's why I get the results I'm getting, right? So I didn't worry and doubt. I just stayed in a good place. I laughed at myself a few times. So anyways, fearing leads to worry and doubting, leads to anxiety. Anxiety leads to suppressing your emotions, right? I know in school they probably tell you guys this. When you know when you feel stressed out and you just start staying quiet, people are like, what's wrong? What's wrong? You're like, nothing, you know? And you're like suppressing the emotions. That's never a good thing, I've learned, right? So because you're suppressing it, it's gonna lead to depression. You guys following this? This is very important. The suppression of the anxiety, that energy, is gonna lead to depression. Where now it's becoming worse. You're depressed, and you might have to go to the doctor and get some pills to like fight off this depression that you're facing, which is also a bad thing because then the pills lead to other problems. You get what I'm saying? So the depression leads to dis-ease, like you're not at ease. You know, you're lying in your bed and you're still rolling and tossing and turning because your mind's not at ease with the situation, you know, because you're depressed. And then eventually, dis-ease leads to disintegration, right? So this is one side of the coin. Now there's the other side of the coin. The other side of the coin starts off with knowledge. Over here is ignorance. This one starts off with knowledge. Now nobody's born with knowledge. So how do you get knowledge? You get knowledge through study. So what you guys are doing right now, you guys could be anywhere in the world right now, but you guys are here learning some stuff that's going to help you towards your future. And you guys have this handout to take with you so you can always look back at it and rehearse it and practice it. You're studying, right? Just like you do when you're doing your homework, you're studying. If you didn't study and do your homework, then you're going to be on this side. You're going to be ignorant, which is going to lead to worry and doubt. So in order to avoid worry and doubt, study what it is you need to do. You know, some people, if you're going for a driving test and you're not ready, you start worrying and doubting. You know, put the test, push it over, and go study some more until you are ready, right? So your ability to study is gonna be determined how much knowledge you have, right? Now I know people hate this word study, right? Because it means it sounds like you can't have no fun. But study what it is you're trying to do, right? That's what's important, to have a goal, Have a goal of something that you want to do, something that you enjoy, not something that other people like. Right? So, anyways, by studying, you get understanding. Right? Because I've studied this stuff by lots of people not showing up today, I operated from an understanding perspective, whereas I had a lot of faith because I said to myself, even if I don't see people here, A, like I said, I know this stuff, so I'm good, you know, so it doesn't really matter. But B, I know that somebody's gonna come, even though they're gonna come late, but somebody's gonna come, right? And this is and C, I know that this is just the beginning of many things to come. So I'm not gonna be over here worrying and doubting and fearing because I know that this is just the beginning because I have understanding. So faith leads to well-being, whereas over here you're feeling a lot of anxieties. Over here your well-being, and then well-being leads to expression. You know how over here the person was suppressing their energy? Over here they're expressing it. So when you express yourself, it's a good thing because you're letting out the flow of energy, right? You're letting it circulate instead of keeping it damped up. Through expression, you start accelerating, so you start taking off because now your ideas are starting to flow and you're gonna start taking off. You're gonna be more at ease, which is gonna lead to creation, right? So once again, you have two sides of the coin. When you're in a situation, you could choose to be worrying and doubtful about it, which will lead to fear, which will lead to all this type of stuff that's gonna happen. Or you could gain some understanding about the situation by how? By studying, right? Studying what it is you need to know. The more information you have about a certain topic, the more confident you're gonna be. So the more confident you are, the less worrying you're gonna be, right? So steady to the point where your confidence level raises up, and then you could do as good as you want to do. Make sense? And last but not least, this is just a diagram for you guys to write out what we just talked about. Now, in moving forward, let's talk about time. Time is one of our biggest commodities of life, right? Nobody gets more time. You can't buy more time, right? Most people in this world, we're always chasing money. We're trying to live a better life and chase money. But you could be the wealthiest person in the world and have cancer, and on your dying bed, say like Steve Jobs or something like that, on your dying bed, with all your billions that you have, you cannot buy more time, right? So time is very important. So when it's time to come up with an idea, when it's time to come up with a dream or something you want to do in life, make it be worthwhile because as far as we know it, we only get one chance of life. So let your idea, let your goal be deserving of you, right? You guys get it? Set a goal where it will make you feel good when you accomplish it. Dream of something big you want to do. When you're dreaming, don't put no limits to it. Don't think, oh, I can't do that, or it's not possible, or how am I going to do that? When you're dreaming, leave the how part to the side. They say that's God's part. How it gets done is God's part. So dream big because you only have a certain time in life, right? So let your dream serve your time. Cool? I could go on and speak of more, but we'll just stop there. Dream big and let your time be deserving of your dream. Cool? Thank you very much, everybody. This is a part where we talk. Questions? Comments? I've been in the interview class and they said in every interview you go through, and when they say question, always have one question. Because there's always lots of questions you can ask. But by not asking a question, it just means that you're not thinking about what you were just part of.
So the question is, what were we just a part of?
Sorry, you had a question?
Yeah, our question is why are we a part of this? So if your question is how we are supposed to be a part of it, why don't you answer this as our facilitator?
Damn, you sound so smart. I'm confused. What you just said? Ezekiel, help me out here.
It's all right facility.
What did she say? I need a translator.
Wait, what did she say again?
It's a good question.
Go ahead.
So
I don't know what it
as our facilitator,
Yes.
you should know why our purpose is here. But you asking us why we believe we're here shows your lack of focus. Why are we here?
Why are you here? Why are you here?
And that's rhetorical.
Why are you here? Outside, your mom dragged you and probably brought you here. Here's a better question. Was it worthwhile being here today? And if it wasn't or it was, what could make it better and what did you get out of it? So what's one thing you guys got out of this workshop? Yes, sir.
An understanding of perspective,
Perspective. Which was?
which was that no matter how you look at something, it doesn't mean that you're right. No matter how someone else looks at something, it doesn't mean that they're right. You both may be wrong, or you both may be right. It all depends on perspective.
Excellent. I feel so pleased with just you saying that. Excellent. Any more? Young lady in the back, you look so eager to say something. What's one thing you could take away from this workshop? I gave you some more time to think about it. Are you ready? Give you more time? Okay. What's one thing you got from this workshop?
Connecting with what I've learned in anthropsychology and sociology class is kind of like a combination of what humans suffer through. Because in sociology, we learned that thoughts are taken in three categories: either your consciousness and your subconsciousness, but also, and it could be termed as ego, super ego, and ego. The way that the id is your subconscious, being the desires that you want in life. Your your super ego is the ones that is kind of like your desires to do better, and your ego is the one who chooses which one, the id or the super ego. In a case of perspective and will, it's kind of like that. You're trying to choose what is good, better for you.
Excellent. Excellent. All right, so you got any takeaways from today?
I see basically when you're going doubt yourself for the times you have and you go which will bring doubt yourself. Like when you start doubting, like you said, you lost all your
Yeah. Cool. Excellent, lady. We'll come back to you.
We all have our own personal thoughts and abilities to do things, but we're the ones who control what we do. So now we have to have a better perspective. And instead of choosing like a perception that will lead us into an insidious, we should choose a perception that will lead us into a better state of mind and a better intellectual and mental and emotional state.
That's cool.
Pass that English class with you.
So once again, I just don't want to take everything away from the attitude part of this program. Attitude. You know, so anytime you hear the word attitude, I want you guys to think attitude is broken down into three categories. It starts off with your thinking about the situation, which is going to lead to your feeling about the situation, which is going to lead to your actions, right? So if I paint a happy picture for you guys, you're going to start thinking about a happy thought, and it's going to make you feel happy. And then when you, based on whatever you're feeling, is how you're going to act out, right? So remember, when somebody says, what's attitude? I want you guys to, before you answer it, just let them know. Attitude gets broken down into three categories. It's like a cake. What's a cake? A cake gets broken down into different categories. You know how you make a cake: the egg, the flour, a couple of this, a couple of that. You know. So attitude is not just one thing. It's a mixture of three things. Your thoughts, you're thinking about a situation, which leads to your feeling about the situation, which leads to your actions. Right. So good job, guys. Thank you for coming, and we are out. Thank you, sir. Thank you for making history. Thank you, mom. Making history.